Thank you all for joining us for this commencement of the pinning for the class of 2021. I am about to deliver the invocation. If you would, bow your heads. Thank you, precious Father, for this opportunity, that we have traveled together through this journey and have accomplished so much. Thank you, Father, for those who have guided us along the way, our teachers, our families, and our loved ones who have supported us through these trials and tribulations that we have encountered in this past year. We ask that you continue to bless us and them as we move forward in our lives, on our journeys as professionals, and continue to bless our teachers, the instructors, the preceptors, and those that assist everyone along the way through their paths moving forward. Amen.
Please be seated. Good evening. I'm Jan Martin, and I'm the program director for the Radiologic Technology program. And it's really good to see such a good crowd, because in the past few years we have not been able to have a crowd, especially last year because of the pandemic. But class of 2021 has marked a momentous milestone. This is the 28th pinning for our program. And when they graduate, they will have made 302 students that have graduated from this program, which is monumental for a technical college, especially in our area, and we're very proud of them. They persevered through a pandemic. They didn't let COVID-19 stop them, and who would have thought on March 11, 2020, we would be shut down, we couldn't come to class, we couldn't go to clinic. There was nothing. Only thing they could do was work online and do what I even came in and would print stuff and mail it to them so they'd have something to do. Because I am not an online instructor. I am 66 years old, and I don't have to be if I don't want to. And besides, I nutted up, so there was no reason for me to even try and do anything, because I was teaching online one day, and I'm just talking and carrying on, and all of a sudden I realized after 10 minutes, the internet was down. Thus ended my online teaching. But we didn't have to beg them to come back. As a matter of fact, I think our dean and our executive vice president for academic and student affairs got tired of me emailing and calling and stomping my feet and gnashing my teeth to please let us come back. Our students needed to be in the lab. They needed to catch up because our clinical sites had closed. So after much deliberation, they let us come back. And folks, these 11 students didn't stop. They did their lab test. Not one student, not one, has failed a lab test since the very first lab test that they took in this program. They have worked hard, and I'm extremely proud of them. So we've had some momentous occasions, things going on. We were supposed to have our site visit. Our program is accredited by the Joint Review Committee on Education and Radiologic Technology. It is something that we're very proud of, to have programmatic accreditation. So we had to put it off from March, so in September, we had our site visit. They were amazed at our students and how well they behaved, and that was a real first. However, they were so excited to have been able to have been here. They had the highest compliments for the program. We had no citations, no recommendations. So Matt and I were waiting for that nice early Christmas present that says, you've got your full 8 years. Well, we had to wait. But in January, we got the letter. Now, some people might not think it's very noteworthy or newsworthy and think that, well, you know, so what? They got 8 years. But folks, not every college, not every radiology program gets a full 8 years of accreditation. And since 2004, for every site visit we've had, we've achieved 8 years of accreditation. But what was really neat about this letter and seeing that we got the full 8 years, I don't have to do this again. That when it comes time to do it again, Matt's going to handle it. Because Jan is going to be at the beach drinking fruity adult beverages. But one thing stands out for this class, and that is after 25 years of teaching, I've had my first second-generation student. One of our graduates, Michelle Blocker Johnson Jones, that is Jones, isn't it? Thank you very much, was a student in 1998. She graduated in 2000 and came to school, did what she had to do, and raised a small child. And Macy Lively is her daughter that came in. I mean, the first time we looked at her, we knew who she belonged to. But Michelle, thank you for allowing us to take care of your daughter, because you must have liked us. Now, I will tell you that when Michelle was a student and she was doing a pathology presentation, I fell asleep. And that was really embarrassing when I heard something, well, Miss Martin really must think this is boring because she's asleep. But now I would like to recognize all the radiographers that are in the audience tonight. If you will stand, please. All the radiographers. Folks, these are our clinical instructors, our staff radiographers, our friends, our graduates. These are the frontline heroes of healthcare. Radiologic technologist is the third leading profession in the nation, and we get the least amount of respect. But I want to thank you for all that you do. They work with our students. They don't get paid. What they do for us, for our program, is strictly giving back to the profession and giving back to the college, because most of who you see standing here are our graduates. And folks, people don't understand that as a radiologic technologist, we are in harm's way. We are the hands-on of COVID patients, whether it's a suspected COVID patient or it is a positive COVID patient. Every patient gets a chest x-ray. Almost all of them get a CAT scan. But these people are my people, and they should be yours, and they deserve a multitude of respect. And we have a special presentation. One of our clinical instructors is leaving. As a matter of fact, I think her last day is tomorrow. But Kelly Morris graduated from the program in 1997. And she started working as a staff radiographer at Statesboro Imaging Center. She even cross-trained into nuclear medicine and became a certified nuclear medicine technologist. She remained at Statesboro Imaging Center until 2013, when she took a position as department manager at Candler County Hospital in Metter. Kelly has been a staunch advocate for our program. She has been an advisory committee member. She has served as chairperson. She has served as secretary. And Kelly, we would like for you to come up, because we have a small token of our appreciation. Did you get the pens? A certificate of appreciation, an abundant appreciation for your years of dedication to education and the lives you have impacted over the years. Kelly W. Morris, RTR, CNMT, with a great deal of appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's my honor to introduce our speaker for this evening, Mr. Ken Durden, radiographer and clinical instructor at East Georgia Regional Medical Center. Ken is a graduate of Georgia Southern University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Technology and Printing Management. He worked in Savannah for 10 years before coming back to Statesboro to attend Agee Tech. He graduated in 2013 from the OTC Radiologic Technology program, and in 2015, he was recognized by the JCERT as a clinical instructor at East Georgia Regional Medical Center. Ken challenges us every day to be excellent in our profession. He's an excellent role model for students. He has received the OTC Clinical Instructor of the Year award in 2016, 2017, and 2019. He's a pleasure to work with, not only because of his technical expertise, but also because of the humor that he brings to our clinical site. While providing excellent guidance, he makes our learning experience fun and memorable. We're glad he accepted our invitation to speak tonight. Please welcome Grandfather Ken.
Thank you, Sam. I get a lot of jokes being the oldest. I was also the oldest in my class. In fact, me and Matt were the only ones that got our jokes half the time about older movies. Most everybody in our classes looked at us like, what are they even talking about? I want to thank you guys for asking me to speak. This is not my favorite thing to do by any stretch. However, I do consider it a big honor. I'm very proud of you guys. Jan's already talked about it, but you guys went through school with COVID-19 pandemic going on and everything was shut down, and you didn't complain. You did what you had to do, and you're finishing. And there's a lot to be said for that. I didn't like it at all. We were cut back on our hours, so we didn't even get to work like normal. So I'm very proud of y'all for that. I also would like to congratulate you guys for staying the course, for sticking with this thing, because it's tough. The Radiologic Technology program at OTC is probably one of the toughest things I've ever done. It requires a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sweat, tears, and sometimes blood. In my case, and Michelle can vouch for this, blood. And Mr. Dunn can. I cut my tip of my finger off on a wheelchair when I was a student at one of the sites, so blood in that case. I would also like to say thanks to the families. You guys have put up with all of the stomping and crying and gnashing teeth and the sleepless nights and being away from home. You guys sacrifice a lot. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. You sacrifice a lot for the students, and to be able to support them as they do this program is amazing. So I give you guys a round of applause for that. Thank you. I would like to just tell you a little bit about how I kind of got into the Rad Tech program. As Sam was saying, I worked in Savannah I've had a lot of different careers, jobs, whatever, throughout my life. And I was working in Savannah for about 10 years, and when the housing economy and everything crashed in 07 and 08, I started looking around for what am I going to do. And everything came crashing down in my world at that time. A lot of stuff I won't go into, but things were kind of bad during that time. And I kept getting a nudge to do something different. And talking with a friend of mine, and I always kept throwing up obstacles. I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of that. And I knew I didn't want to be a nurse. He worked in the medical field, still does, and he talked to me about, what I might want to do, and I knew I didn't want to be a nurse because I didn't care to be emptying out bedpans and catheterizing people and all that kind of stuff. There's no way I wanted to do that. Little did I know I would be doing barium enemas on people. And that's probably the least favorite thing that we have to do as students and as technologists. Just nobody wants to, I won't go into it, but nobody wants to do that to anyone. So that's I took a leap of faith, and finally, I kept getting nudged that way, and it's my belief that I was led to do this because I fought it tooth and nail the whole way to even trying to enter the program, and yet here I am doing what I love to do. And that's pretty amazing. I think, in my opinion, that's a God thing. Take it for what you want to believe, but I was led to this, and I love what I do. I love working with students. I feel very blessed to be able to work with you guys. I really do. It's a lot of fun. I like to teach. I like the spark in your eyes when it clicks, and when you have that moment of it's starting to make sense, and you start to like it. It's just a real blessing to me, and thank you for that. Thank you guys for the honor of allowing me to do that. The thing about healthcare in general is we get a chance to make a difference in someone's lives. I said this recently, and I heard it said before a bunch of times, is that, everybody brightens up a room when you come in or when you go out. And I would like to think that I try to brighten a room when I come in, when I go in to see a patient. And I hope that you guys will try and do the same thing. You have the opportunity to make a difference in a patient's experience. Nobody wants to be in the ER or the hospital. I work in the field and I don't go. I've been twice to the ER in my life ever. I just have to about be decapitated before I'll go in the ER. But it gives us a special chance to make the patient feel a little more at ease. And it could be that we give them a warm blanket, maybe a pillow, just a warm smile, or listen to them. Some people just want to talk for a while. They want somebody to listen. And so you can make a difference in that. And even the family. And they pay attention, trust me. They're paying attention to what you do. They want to know how their family's being treated. And I think about that when I go in. How would I want my family member to be treated? And you're going to be given that opportunity to make that difference. And you're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to fuss about what I'm having to do, or do I want to go in and try and comfort them? And even though I may stomp and fuss sometimes, I don't do this perfectly. When the rubber meets the road and I'm in there with a patient, I try and make their experience nice and comforting as much as I can. So that's kind of, the point that you're going to be at entering school. Some of you guys are going to want to go on and do other things. You might want to go on to MRI or CT or nuke med or whatever. But whatever you do the best you can at it. Try your hardest like you've done with this. You guys have really put in the work. Make that effort with the patients, whatever you do, and be good at whatever you do. Try to inspire others. That's one thing that I like doing. There's no more better feeling for me than to be able to give back and do for somebody else. And that goes in all aspects of my life. It's not just in my interactions with students or as an instructor or whatever, but all aspects. If I'm doing for somebody else, I'm not thinking about me, and there's a good feeling in return I get for that. And I think you'll find it very rewarding if you do that. Use your talents and your gifts. I joke around. I do. I cut up. Y'all have already talked about that. I like to have fun because there are going to be days where it's not so pleasant. When you lose a patient, when you have a child that's hurting and you don't know what to do and you're frustrated, those times are tough. So when you can, laugh a little. Have some fun on those other times, the other patients that you have. One thing that I've tried to do, and this is in all areas of my life, and I challenge you to do the same, is always remain teachable. I still learn. I don't know all the answers, and I would assume that no one else in here does. So always try and learn from other people. I've had people that I taught come back and work with me and teach me some things that they tried, a different technique or whatever, and it worked out fine. It's like, hey, this was a little bit easier than what I had been doing. So trying to remain teachable. But again, just trying to use your talents and what you have and pass that on to others, and I try and do the same thing. You guys have really inspired me. I will say that, just watching you. You really have. You've put a fire back in me to see you enjoy coming into this profession, and you've kind of inspired me to be a better technologist. And Ms. Martin was right. We don't always get the respect from others in the hospital, in the healthcare profession. We don't get the respect that we probably deserve. We are in the front line, on the front line. I've gone in, I can't tell you how many times, and x-rayed a patient doing a chest x-ray or whatever for possible COVID. They didn't know at the time. They just have shortness of breath, congestion, and I go in and do an x-ray, and I'm back in the department. You guys have seen it. 30 minutes later, they have an isolation precaution put up because they have COVID, and here I was exposed. So there's, you guys have worked through that. You're going to continue to see that. I would just challenge you to be as professional as you possibly can. Again, I want to thank the families for going through this with them. I want to thank y'all for asking me to speak. Again, I don't like this at all, but thank you again for doing it. I want to thank Jan and Matt for being such awesome instructors. I can tell you, I haven't been to another school, but I've talked to other people and I've seen what they've done, and I have all reason to believe that these guys are some of the best. This program turns out so many students in such I think it's a 100% pass on the registry. I mean, it stays really high. There's a lot to be said for that. I can tell you, I know how it was to sit where you are and thinking, I've got to take the registry and I'm nervous. I went to Jan, I said, I'll be honest with you, I'm more nervous taking your mock registries than I am the registry. And that's the honest to God truth. You guys will be prepared, I can tell you. They're really good at what they do. They have prepared you. I understand being nervous, but I will guarantee you, you will pass. You will not make it this far if you're not ready for that registry. They're not going to let you step out there and fall. So relax, take it easy. Good luck, and again, thank you for allowing me to speak and share my experience with you.
We as students never knew what to expect when we walked into a clinical site, but there was someone who stood out to all of us. We admire her with her extensive knowledge in physics, image production, and patient care. She is the perfect example of the type of radiographer that we too would hope to become one day. It is my pleasure to present the award for Clinical Instructor of the Year to J.J. Wiggins.
Okay. When thinking of this person, I think of the impact she has had on my experience in this program, and I'm pretty sure that each of my classmates would agree. She has been such a strong force of encouragement throughout the clinical process, and she's always open to answer any of our questions and give us respectful criticism when it's needed.
So on behalf of all of our classmates, we want to say thank you. Thank you for always being there for us and pushing us in the right direction. Not long ago, you were in our shoes. I think you winning this award just so proves just how special of a radiographer you really are.
So without further ado, we are presenting the Radiographer of the Year award to Chandler Atkinson. Did you know? I expected nothing less.
Chandler is also one of our graduates, and as you can see, she's very comfortable with us. So there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said. We're very proud of these folks. They've worked really hard. I've had them as a captive audience, and I have very terrible jokes, as Mr. Durden just reminded us of. My wife points us out. God have mercy on these people, because they have to sit there and listen to you, and they can't just leave. So I've got one for you. Ken mentioned you should never stop learning. So I learned this the other day, and I had to share it. Hawaiians do not like very loud laughter. They don't like it. So when asked what they prefer, they'd rather have a low ha. And that's what these people have been putting up with for the last 17 months. So, what do you think, Carrie? My wife's in the back shaking her head like she always does. All right, so each year I have the distinct honor and privilege of announcing the recipient of the Student of the Year Award. This award is voted on by clinical instructors and staff throughout our 15 different clinical sites. Their votes represent the student that has demonstrated dedication, initiative, and an attitude of team spirit within the clinical environment. As we constantly remind these students, they're always being evaluated by their soon-to-be peers, because they may end up working with them in regards to their performance and their ability to problem solve. So this award is a direct reflection on those abilities. The recipient of this award has performed well in the clinical setting, is considered to be a team player by clinical instructors, staff radiographers, as well as program faculty. So without further ado, it is truly an honor and a privilege to present the Spring 2021 Student of the Year Award to Ms. Blair Chapman.
And I get to say a few more words. Of course, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say. We have the JRCERT allows us the privilege of an award of excellence in academics for our students. So we have 2 students this year that are receiving this award, because the GPA was within 0.02 of a point between each other. So Matt and I felt that it was best and it's the most fair to honor both students, because both have worked hard. Now, I'm not saying none of the rest of them have worked hard, because every one of them have. And they have worked in such a way that at least 6 of them are already working as student radiographers in some of our clinical sites, which is something that has not been heard of for several years. So in no particular order, the first student that I'm going to tell you about is one that really didn't know what she wanted to do when she grew up. She kind of fumbled around, kind of wondering where she wanted to go. She was even thinking of sonography. I mean, what a dummy. To want to go into something that you have to learn how to do an Etch-a-Sketch on crack. I mean, that's exactly what a sonogram looks like. However, after she decided that she wanted to do radiologic technology, she didn't stop. She did whatever she had to do. She came in just blazing guns. She hasn't stopped running, always with a smile on her face. However, Mr. Dunn learned quite quickly that if you got a text from her, you did not respond with K. Nor did she like it when he used his man voice. So our first JRCERT Excellence Award of Academics is for Allison Jernigan. Our next honoree was opposite of Allison because she knew what she wanted from the very first. As a high school student, she even did dual enrollment and took college classes while in high school, and she never wavered. As a matter of fact, she should have been in the class of 2020, but shortly after our mandatory orientation, she learned that she was pregnant. So after talking with our dean, we decided to defer her to this class. And I really think that was a God thing because you are more fitted for this class than you were the last one. And not only has she been a good student, and she is student of the year, but she's also played matchmaker while in the program. I'm not sure how I feel about that, Blair. But Blair Chapman is our other JRC ERT Excellence. Okay, seniors, let's get this over with.
Okay, I'm going to introduce each student and to receive their pins. Miss Blair J.B. Chapman. Mackenzie Fair. Karen Hampton. Carla Francis Jacoby. Allison Jernigan. Macy or Marcy Lively. Danielle McAllister. Madeline Margie Damon. Sam Steve Parks. Caitlin Stewart. And last but not least, Michael Corn Pop Wilkes. Sorry, Michael Wilkes.
Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Our classmates have put together a PowerPoint presentation of the last 17 months of our lives. It has definitely been a bit of a different ride due to COVID, but there's no way we could have done it without Miss Martin and Mr. Dunn. Whether it was recording voice-over lectures for us to listen to online, sending worksheets by mail, or trying everything they possibly could to get us back into clinic to get the real experience, they have gone above and beyond to help lead us to becoming successful radiographers.
We would also like to take the time to thank our families for their patience and support throughout this whole journey. It has definitely been a year of uncertainty, but look at us now. We are so proud of our classmates for persevering and making it to the end. Congratulations, class of 2021. We made it.